All right, my friends, let's do this. I have a few minutes before my next call that I have, and I thought I would go live a little early since I've been going live later in the day. I thought, let's go live early today. Hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday. I already feel like it should be Friday, but it's only Tuesday. Anyone else feel that way when it's like when the week has been going? Anyways, if you are just joining and you are like, who is this girl? Why is she talking about herpes? What is going on? Let me just give you an opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Alexandra. I have been living with herpes since 2003 for HSV1 oral and 2011 with HSV2 genital. So I have been living with herpes for almost 20 years. I don't like saying that, but almost 20 years, and I have become an expert in herpes. I do not have a medical background, but I do have real life experience of living with herpes. Hence why I have here the Life with Herpes community and the Life with Herpes TikTok, Life with Herpes Instagram, YouTube, and just an online community of people living with genital herpes specifically, or we take oral herpes too. So this is your question. This is your opportunity to ask your questions about herpes. Yesterday I had like 45 questions that I couldn't get to, and I felt awful about that. I was gonna be a mommy. I had to run. So feel free to start asking your questions here. I will get to them. I will answer them. Some of the things that you were asking me yesterday were more about transmission. How do I protect transmission to a partner? How do I protect transmission to a friend, to anything like that? So let me just back up and let's just do a little bit of like herpes 101. And let's talk a little bit about what herpes is and how it's transmitted. So herpes is a virus. It lives in our nervous system and it travels along our nerves, and then pops up to the surface, and then we have an outbreak. So it's a skin-to-skin transmission. It's not a bodily fluids transmission. It's not a liquids transmission. It is skin-to-skin transmission. So a lot of people think like, oh, it lives in your saliva or it lives in your blood or things like that. It does not. It does not live in those things. When we're getting tested, they may test for blood because they're going to look for the antibodies that are in your blood, not actually herpes living in your blood. So when people are like, well, how do I prevent transmission to somebody? Can I hug them? Can I share fondue with them? Can I get chips and salsa? Like all those like things. Like, yes, you absolutely can. I would be aware though, if you do have an oral outbreak and you currently have one, and you go to share something with somebody, I would just be a little bit more, I would just be aware of what you're doing. Like if you have like a big old cold sore, like don't go sharing your drinks. Don't go sharing, don't be double dipping in the salsa dip or the bean dip or whatever. It's very, very difficult to transmit that way, but you just don't want to do anything like that. You're welcome, Virgil, or I don't know. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad. Guys, my goal here, and I love all the hearts, so thank you. I'm like seeing them. My goal here is to educate you. My goal here is to bring awareness to herpes. It's devastating when you're diagnosed with herpes. It is absolutely crushing, takes the air out of your lungs. It is paralyzing. So I don't want anybody to feel that way the way I did. Yes, those feelings are normal. Yes, those feelings will naturally happen when you're diagnosed with herpes. I don't want you to stay there. The other day I was talking to somebody who was contemplating unaliving herself because she was concerned that she didn't know she had herpes and she potentially transmitted it to her adult children during birth. And I'm like, but if this was like 20 years ago, your kids would know by now. And they may have come across it on their own. You know what I mean? So please, please, please do not let this control your life. Do not let this impact your life. Is it annoying? Yeah. Is it annoying to have blisters? Yeah. Is it annoying especially if it's time for that romantic time or you're wanting to go on a date or when rejection happens? Yeah. It can be frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. Let me get to some of the questions and then I can keep going on any topic that you guys potentially have. Any advice on when you tell someone you have it and how they don't want to see you anymore? All right, so here's the thing about rejection. And it's not just herpes rejection, it's rejection in general. If the person's not into you, they're not into you. And I don't know if any of you read that book or saw the movie, like He's Just Not That Into You. It had Drew Barrymore in it. I remember watching it. I'm like, no, it's not true. Like they're busy or whatever. No, if the person's not into you, they're not into you. And if you give them the opportunity to reject you with something like herpes, they're going to take that because that was just really an easy play for them. There's 3 reasons why herpes rejection specifically happen. Number 1 is the person is just not emotionally mature about sex. That could be sex, that could be sexual health, that could be herpes, that could just be about the whole thing in general. Examples like that I like to use, like women, if like your partner is like grossed out about you having your period. Okay, we're not in the 5th grade. You know what I mean? Like that's a natural thing. That's just like, ew, I don't want to talk about that, or ew, that's so gross, or like, ew, sex, like let's not talk about it, or like those types of things that are just, got a text. All right. Those things that are just like, they can't talk about sex. The next reason why rejection happens is that person is married to a preconceived thought that is not going to change. It is ingrained in their mind and they're not open to learning or dealing with anything new. I like to use the example of if you're trying to convince someone of one religion to go to the other religion, it's not going to happen, right? Chances are that person's not going to switch religions. So if someone is like, I am never going to date someone with herpes, herpes is just disgusting, or I have these preconceived thoughts of someone with herpes and I cannot get past it. Again, number 2 reason for rejection, okay? Number 3 reason for rejection is they're not into you, which is what I was talking about in the beginning. Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it's like, oh, well, if I didn't have herpes, we'd be dating, we'd be married, we'd be having babies by now. You don't know that. And honestly, if somebody's going to quote unquote reject you because you have herpes, they weren't into you. So why would we want to give ourselves or be with somebody that was not willing or gonna give the same amount back? And then we could look at the other 2 reasons, either not emotionally, sexually mature, okay, or they're not, they're never going to get over their preconceived notions or thoughts. So that's a long answer for you guys on the rejection. How do you want to deal with someone not wanting to see you anymore? That hurts, obviously. Like, what do you mean you want to see me? Why don't you want to see me? You would have liked me if I didn't have herpes. You just have to go back to your core values and remember that like this person didn't want to spend time with you. This person didn't want to see you. This person wasn't into you. So we need to realize that and realize that, hey, this gives me more of an opportunity to work on myself. This gives me more of an opportunity to meet somebody that truly does love me for me or want to be with me for me. Some of the things that I personally worked on when that happened was, okay, this wasn't the guy. This wasn't the person for me. What do I need to do to improve myself so that I can be the best version of myself? So I wanted to become the person I wanted to date. So whether that was working on communication skills, whether that was working on improving my life in any way, maybe further education, all sorts of things like that. That was what I personally worked on that time. So I'm sorry that anybody that's dealing with rejection, I hate that. It's uncomfortable. It's not what we want. But look at it as an opportunity for another door to open. It was a really long answer. How much lysine do you take daily? Again, sorry for this repetitiveness. No repetitiveness at all. This is the lysine that I take. I have a lysine and a Monolaurin combo, and then I also have just a lysine combo. There's information on, I have to sneeze. I lost it. Okay, I lost it. There's information on a website called monolaurinandmore.com. It's a third-party website. You can go there to see how much monolaurin you should take. As far as lysine, I'd recommend looking at what the bottle says and how much it recommends you take daily. Everybody's body is different. If you have specific questions like, should I take more? Should I not take more? Definitely reach out to your doctor and ask your doctor. Do your own research on this. So personally for me, my doctor told me, again, I'm not a doctor, I can't prescribe or recommend, but my doctor told me that when I have for a daily preventative, I should take 1,000 milligrams a day of lysine. And then for when I have an outbreak, I will take 3,000. And that was what was recommended by my doctor to me. So I have this linked for you in the bio if you guys want to check it out. What I really like about Palmera Health, formerly known as Natural Cure Labs, is I love their owner. His name's Damon. He is just like his personality, his efficacy, his genuine desire to support us, our community living with herpes is really shines through. And I just think his products are great and they're affordable. So I have it linked. You have a promo code. If you're wondering about what Monolaurin is, it's a lauric acid, which is found in 3 ways. It's found in human breast milk, it's found in coconuts, and it's found in palm oil. And what it does is when you have an enveloped virus, which is what the herpes virus is, it disrupts that outer layer. So what it does is it disrupts it and allows our immune system to go in and fight it. So this is, Monolaurin is more for an immune system, overall immune system. When we have a functioning immune system, we tend to have less herpes outbreaks. So that was a really, really long story for you on that. Thank you for spreading awareness. You're welcome. Can I infect someone sharing pillows with me? I would say that's really hard and I would not even go there. When I have active outbreaks, I do my best to cover it up when I'm sleeping, just because you don't know what you're doing when you're sleeping. So if I have genital outbreak, I wear underwear or jammies or whatever, make sure it's covered. If I have an oral outbreak, I will kind of put a Band-Aid on it just because I don't want to accidentally, I kiss my husband a lot when I'm sleeping and I don't realize it. So I just don't want to do that, but I wouldn't worry about necessarily spreading it on sheets or things like that, or pillows. Love your lives. Thank you so much. I'm glad. Does your partner have to test regularly just to make sure? Honestly, my husband doesn't care anymore. It's not, that's something that when we don't have herpes or when we're newly dating someone, we're like, oh, does your partner always check? Or no, it's at the point of he just doesn't care. Does he get tested? Yeah, he gets tested about every 6 months, basically because I make him. But no, he doesn't have it. And at this point, it's not a big deal. How do you get tested for herpes? It's through blood tests. There's 2 ways, really 3 ways to be diagnosed, but there's 2 tests. One is a swab. So when you take the viral DNA and they use a Q-tip, and not really a Q-tip, it looks like a Q-tip, and then they get the viral DNA and send that to a lab. The other way is doing a blood draw, and they are checking the antibodies. The thing about the blood draw is if you were just introduced to herpes or just came down with it, just contracted it, you're going to test negative. You're going to test negative because your body hasn't had the opportunity to make the antibodies. That could take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. And same thing with a viral, a DNA swab, the viral DNA swab, doing a swab is right now, I don't have any cold sores. I don't have anything on my mouth. If you were to swab me, I would come back negative unless there was a viral shedding going on, but I would come back negative. So for the swab, you have to do it with an active outbreak. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to find where I was. You think about unaliving yourself and a lot just because it ruined my dating life now. I'm single. All right, so please, anybody dealing with this, do not go down that path. There is a number you can call. I should have it memorized. Please call the number. Do not contemplate that. That is not acceptable and it's not okay. Do not let a microscopic virus control your life and unalive yourself with this. I would absolutely encourage you to seek professional help and look at other ways to fulfill your life. I understand that temporarily we feel like it's ruined our life, but this is a beautiful opportunity for us to go within and a beautiful opportunity for us to grow because of it. I personally became more confident. I personally changed my lifestyle to a very healthy, clean lifestyle. And I personally have absolutely grown and become an amazing person because of it. Is it annoying? Yeah. Was I scared? Yeah. Was I dreading the dating process at first? Yeah. Did I stay in the relationship with the guy that I got herpes from, even though knowing it was an unhealthy relationship? Yes. But I, little by little, step by step, kept building myself and building myself with love in order to break out, no pun intended, break out and become the person that I want to become. So please seek professional help. For you specifically, I recommend joining our secret society. It's our online community for Life with Herpes. We have calls every Monday. We have a Monday morning and a Monday evening. And those are by far the best things. It is not one-on-one. It's a group of people with herpes all over the world in our community who get exactly what you're going through. And like just last night on our call, we had a med student and we had a hygienist on there, and we learned so much from this call. Like there's so much healing that happens. So anybody that is struggling with herpes or struggling with the diagnosis and needs a hand holding and needs a friend, the Life with Herpes community, it is linked for you, is going to be the best place for any of us. I've grown from it, and I created it because I was so alone when I was first diagnosed. As a dental assistant, you know how common it is. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I have to go, you guys. I have another call. I have an emergency. Thank you for the hearts. I have an emergency call coming up, which is a call I do that's one-on-one. Anyways, I've got to bounce. It's in 1 minute. I just appreciate you, and I will be live again to answer your questions. Keep asking them. I'll keep posting. The soap that has been sold out, this soap right here, is going to be ready to ship, I believe, Friday. You can still purchase it right now. It is live on the website, but the Reviver soap, which was specifically created for a herpes outbreak, which is amazing, sold out. So it is available. You can order it. It's called the Reviver soap, and it is linked for you in the bio. All right, I appreciate you all. I will see you all soon tomorrow. All right, bye, my friends.